Out of a graduating class of about 290, the positions available were less than 100. So naturally there was a scramble for jobs. And the best qualified were the ones that got them, I guess, or the ones that...
Well, how did you stand in your class? Did you stand in the first 100?
I don't think so. I wasn't that... As a matter of fact, the course at OCE was so stilted that I paid very little attention to lectures because they were, to me, they were sort of stupid most of the time. But when Norman and Abe Bonin graduated, first of all, the times were a little better because a few years later, they were always among the top 3 in their class, and they were specialists in classics. And if anybody should have gotten a job in those years, they should have been among the first ones to get a job. As a matter of fact, the principal told them that he always recommended them first when a job was open. But he says, I don't have to tell you why you're not getting it. So the implication was definitely there that they were not getting them because they were Jewish.
When you didn't, at 34 you applied, and you didn't get a job in Toronto. I mean, how did other Jewish people get jobs? Did other Jewish students in your class?
One or two that got jobs in small towns.
Mm-hmm.
One or two that took jobs as public school teachers in order to get a job.
Those were more available.
Well, it wasn't that. As an OCE graduate, we were qualified to teach high school.
Right.
But since they couldn't get into high schools,
mm-hmm.
they took the lower positions in public school in order to get an in.
No, I'm just wondering how they got those positions, because weren't there competition for the lower public school jobs
Yes,
as
but
well?
when somebody with a qualification for high school teaching applies for a public school position, they're so much more qualified that they had to make allowances for it. There weren't that many, mind you.
But they were Jewish and they got in.
Mm-hmm. And the exception, of course, was the one that I told you about,
David Steinhardt.
David Steinhardt, who was taken in to Jarvis because the principal of Jarvis insisted on having him. He wouldn't accept any other choice. So he got the job in spite of the Department of Education.
You mean the Department of Education didn't want to hire him?
Well, whether they did or not, I don't know. But he's specified that he's got a job open for modern languages, and the only one he'll take is David Steinhardt, and that's how he got it.
And he knew David Steinhardt.
Well, David was his star pupil in Jarvis all the way through, and he spent a couple of years in France and Germany, and then he finished off his course in modern languages at the university, and naturally he was the top man qualified in the whole province.